down to the nitty-gritty questions, all right? Now, any of y'all got your phone on you? Yes. Bring up your phone, bring up my post. And we're going to address this for you guys. I want you guys to really think critically. That's why I put my questions up there, because I want to get a general consensus on the feedback of the people so I know what angle to do my lectures on, all right? Because I like to put out objective information, give you all the tools, eat the meat, spit out the bones, use whatever you want to use to get you guys to step it up in regards to your academic scholarship, and also to help cement the foundation that you stand on in regards to your particular disposition, all right? So, you got the questions up?
The last one you posted?
And I'm gonna, yeah, the last one I posted. And then I'm gonna touch on a few of those, and then we're gonna move this video along, all right? So you can see what RBG Hebrews is about, all right? So my brother Josh, you got the post up?
We got him up.
All right, so you got the post up. Now, what's the questions that I asked on the post?
All right, there's a couple of them. So it's, what if I told you monotheism was a foreign concept to the pre-exilic ancient Israelites?
Okay, what if I told you that what? Monotheism,
was a foreign concept.
Was a foreign concept
to the pre-exilic.
To the pre-exilic. Keyword. Keep going.
Ancient Israelites.
Ancient Israelites. All right. I'm gonna touch on that. What's the next question?
What if I told you there is nothing strange about a heavenly council with which El presides over?
Okay. Next question.
What if I told you that Yahuwah was the avatar used by El to specifically redeem Israel?
I know. People probably never heard that term avatar assigned with something in regards to the scriptures, but we're gonna get the definition of avatar so you guys can see what it means, because I think some people got that movie in their mind and they don't know what that is, but we're gonna bring about that. All right, and what's the last question?
What if I told you that the reason for the seamless integration of the first temple exiled ancient Israelites in their diaspora in West Africa was because their spiritual system was similar to that of the indigenous peoples there?
Now, that's a great question. Now, I put these questions up along with others. If you go right back to my timeline, you'll see I put these questions out so that way we can think critically, go back and analyze the things that we thought we knew or our presuppositions, and actually see in the light of further research if it still stands up to scrutiny, all right? So what I'm gonna do, off the dome, I'm gonna give a little bit of information, because a lot of these things are mostly geared towards a lecture that's coming up, so I don't wanna give out too much. But we're gonna touch on this because I want to stir the pot, you know what I'm saying? I want us to start thinking critically, and so we can build our scholarship much further, all right? So the first question, Josh, is again what? We're gonna deal with the first question.
What if I told you that monotheism...
Monotheism, slow down. Now, Brian, you got your phone?
He actually has my phone.
Oh, where's your phone?
My phone here.
You got your phone down? All right, can somebody give me the definition of monotheism?
I got you.
I can put my hotspot on, y'all. Just jump on my hotspot. I'm gonna edit this pause part out, so they ain't gonna see this. We're gonna flow right in to the next scene. And this is being filmed in 4K, just so y'all know.
I got monotheism.
Alright, so we got the definition for monotheism. What's monotheism?
The doctrine.
The doctrine.
Or belief.
Or belief.
That there is only one
That there
God.
is only one God. Alright, now what's the rest of the question?
What if I told you that monotheism was a foreign concept?
Was a foreign concept. Go ahead.
To the pre-exilic.
To the pre-exilic.
Ancient Israelites.
Ancient Israelites. Now, what I want, my brother Brian, who's the Yahoo. All right. Can you go back to the post that you posted for Exodus chapter 20, and can you read that for the people?
I got you. I
want them to see that. And if you don't mind, Gerald, you want to be active? Okay. You got your Bible on your phone?
Okay.
You go to Psalms 82, which is like Tehillim 82, which is like basic. Oh, you gonna get it? Okay, cool. I'm gonna build a little bit.
Going back to the comment I had, man.
Yeah, it's comment.
Off the dome, man. It's to understand this, you kind of get the first commandment. And I guess a lot of times, I can go off the dome, man. I already know.
No, but I want you to read it.
Want to read it?
Yeah,
okay, I got you.
We get the reference. But I just want people to know, the problem is, I think when people hear this type of dialogues, they think, oh, you done strayed away from the way. That's not what we're saying. I'm not telling y'all to worship anybody outside of Creator. What I'm trying to do is, I'm trying to get y'all to see the state that our people were in and how this state transitioned to other various states as we went into various captivities, so that way we can understand where we came from and where we're at today. That's the objective, all right? I don't want y'all to lose sight of that, and let's show you know I have linear, I don't have just linear sight, but it depends on what it is. Other things you may have to see through your peripherals, but we're gonna break it down for you real quick. So, you have that, Brian?
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go with it was a good question. Brother asked a really good question. He said, in the likes of this info, is our creator El a Canaanite deity and not Yahuwah or Yah or YHWH, whatever you subscribe to. Now my initial, well, I'm gonna read Ron's answer first, and then I'll go into my answer. He said, was the creator worshipped by the Canaanites at any time in history? That should help you answer your question, King. Also remember my question earlier about the avatar. Look into that. And when I caught wind of it, you know, I've done a little study on this particular topic. So I just went in there and said, well, remember the Canaanites started to worship Baal rather than El. And that caused the issue that they had in the scriptures. That's actually in their records. If you look at the Ugaritic text and look at the Canaanite worship system, you see that they had a divine council where you had El Elyon, you had Ashtoreth, and then you had Baal. And the Canaanites, what they start doing, they start worshiping Baal, and that ties right into scripture, because if you go into the first commandment, and from the scriptures version, not the King James, it's a more accurate version from the Hebrew. It says, the first commandment: you should have no other mighty ones against my face.
Mighty ones against my face. And you read it literally in the Hebrew, that's exactly what it's talking about. And I could probably pull that up. But what I wanted to touch on is, when you go back, I want you guys to go back to the Ugaritic text and look at the triumphs of Baal. And you'll see that Baal fought Mut and he fought Yam or Yom. So Yam just means, literally in Hebrew, is a derivative of the word sea. And Mut in Hebrew is a derivative of the word meaning death. But these were personified deities in Ugaritic. And what happened was, Baal was the son of El, and what happened was he was going on these various expeditions because he wanted to be the ruler over all the other deities, right? So he wanted to usurp the authority from El, and he wanted to establish himself as being the premier deity. And this is where we have in the Ugaritic text all these other battles that he would have with the other deities and so forth. And what happened was that people started worshiping Baal. You also got to know Baal was a deity in regards to fertility and rain, etc. So if you having a drought, the people are not going to think about the creator. They're going to think about whoever was personified to represent fertility, which would be Baal. And this is when we start to have the people going after Baal worship. So I want to put that out there so you can see, because monotheism is the belief that there is only one God. Now, Psalms 82, who got Psalms 82?
I got it.
You got Psalms 82? What's Psalms 82?
Yah standeth in the
Slow down.
Oh.
Say it one more time.
Yah standeth in the congregation of the mighty.
Now, you said Yah. Does the text say Yah?
God standeth.
Okay, wait. There we go. We're gonna read it the way it is, if you don't mind, my brother.
That's cool.
We're gonna read it the way it is. And now I don't like using the word God, but we use it for colloquial language so that you'll know what we're talking about. But I'm gonna say specifically what the text says. Text talks about El. It says that who stands in the congregation of who? Let me get it real quick. I want you to read it in English first, Josh. Then I'm gonna jump in the Hebrew. Go ahead.
God standeth in the congregation of the mighty.
God standeth in the congregation of the mighty. So now, if I said Brian standeth in a congregation of HCA, do we have one person there, two people there, a group of people there? What's going on? There's a scene going on, and it's telling us that one person standeth. In Hebrew, that's the idiom meaning presiding over. That means Brian, if I say Brian standeth in the congregation of HCA, that word standeth, if somebody was in the know and they knew about the idiom or the cultural expression that we utilize, they would know when they hear that, oh, that means that he's presiding over the congregation of HCA. Meaning he would be the pastor, what we call pastor, or he would be the bishop, or whoever the case, whatever title you want to use as an overseer, right? Keep reading that, Josh.
He judgeth among the gods.
Hold on. He judgeth among the who?
Gods.
He judgeth among the who?
Gods.
He judgeth among the gods. So, if there is only one God in regards to monotheism, how do you judge amongst other gods or other mighty ones or other powers if there's only one? This is very, very important. And again, people, please listen to what I'm saying. I'm imploring you to research and study. We're not telling you, look, I'm still an Israelite, right? I still got my fringes on. I still got my kufi on. I'm an Israelite. But what I'm trying to do is trying to get y'all to think, because I'm trying to show you some information.
Too, man, because remember back, folks, they still go to Christian churches. Not knocking my Christian brothers and sisters, but in order, you have to understand this principle, because you really won't understand your basic first commandment. Because I know in the church they say, you shall have no other gods before me, they try to make it seem like that's anything that you put before God. And they try to make it, they try to bring a modern interpretation for that, where the actual writers wasn't thinking about that at that time period.
Exactly.
So when you actually know the term Elohim is plural and you see this heavenly council, now it becomes real, because you can see the scribes saying, no, you don't put any other mighty ones before me.
There you go.
Literally.
There you go.
And that's a really important concept to dig into, man. If you don't catch that, you miss you'll miss the
whole
cosmetic conflict, the reason why we're here.
Go to BibleHub.com. I want to implore you guys, I do my study group sessions every other week. And in my study group sessions, I take questions, or I'll do a little bit of teaching. And the objective is the same thing that I put on my Facebook posts is what I put in those groups to get people thinking. And one of the things I always encourage my students is to go to a lexicon. Lexicon is very important because you follow it word by word in regards to what it says in the Hebrew. You get a reference point in the Strongs, and then when you want to get a little fancy, you can move up to the BDB, etc. But what happens is you get the English, you align it, and you see what the Hebrew is, almost like an interlinear. And then they also give you a reference point in regards to the Strong's entry, and you get the etymon of the words, is very important. That syntax is very, very important. Now, if you don't mind, if you bring up BibleHub.com, you go to Psalm 82, because I want y'all to see something. It's very, very interesting. When we talk about Elohim, when we talk about El, very, very interesting. And we're gonna move on because I don't want to make this video too long. It's a teaser. I want to make it too long. All right.
What version do you have?
Okay, we're gonna jump onto that now.
What version do you want?
And you see the individuals they have, they're looking crazy, right? It doesn't matter. If you go to Bible Hub, go to Psalm 82, and then you got to turn your phone landscape, and then you have the option for LEX. That's the lexicon. You want to click on that. You see it?
Yeah.
There you go. And then it'll show you exactly. All right. So I want you to read the Hebrew there for each word. You just read through the Hebrew. It should be. It's just going to give you the root Hebrew words, and I just want to put this out. So for my family out there, you know, you don't want to be a strong scholar. It's okay to be a strong scholar, but you also have to know some grammar. So what we're reading right here from the lexicon, it typically gives you the key entry, which is just the regular Strong's entry, which is the root word before it's parsed or before it's modified, etc. Just so you can get a basis as to how that word is actually being used there before it's modified. Like the word understand. When you have an ing, you have a present participle, understanding. So if you don't know English and you was reading a lexicon and in the actual context of the sentence it says understanding, but it gives you a root to the word understand, you can't say, oh, see, in context it says understand. No, that's the root. But the ing is the actual participle that we add to the word understand to let you know whether it's present, past, etc. So this is understanding Elohim. Go ahead. Nitzvah. Go ahead. Ba'adat. Yispot. Bekarev. Elohim. So Elohim is plural in Hebrew, but you have what's called the majestic plural, and that's something that we see also in the Quran. And a majestic plural is when you put emphasis on the greatness of a particular deity. And what happens is you see the word Elohim, which is plural noun, and then you'll see the verb. The verb is also singular, not plural, and that would be indicative of what a majestic plural is. So go ahead. Elohim. Nitzvah. Stand it. Go ahead. Ba'adat. In. The word ba is a preposition meaning in the congregation. Keep going. Yispot. Keep going. Bekarev. Elohim. So we have Elohim there twice. Elohim standing among the congregation of Elohim. So we have a council within a council, or if we're looking at a majestic plural, we have one particular great deity that is sitting amongst the other deities. Now, give me Job 38 and 4. Ryan, get Job 38 and 4. I want y'all to see something. Job 38 and 4. And after we get Job 38 and 4, I want you guys to, I'm going to finish the rest of that first question. We're going to jump on to the second one, and we're going to stream along, because hopefully you guys see where I'm going. And again, this is just the preview. All right? I don't want to give a whole lecture out here. This is just the preview. Poor baby's getting wet.
38 and 4?
Yeah.
All right. I got it.
All right. Yeah.
Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth?
All right. This is Elohim speaking, or El speaking, or YHWH speaking. Go ahead.
Declare if you have understanding.
Declare. Now he's talking to Job. Keep going.
Who said its measurements?
Who said its measurements?
If you know.
If you know. Keep going.
Or who stretched the line upon it?
Who stretched the line upon it? Keep going.
Upon what were its foundations sunk?
Okay. Keep going.
Or who laid its cornerstone?
Go ahead.
When the morning stars sang together.
Whoa, here we go. When the morning stars sang together, read the rest.
And all the sons of Elohim.
And all the sons of who?
Elohim.
All the sons of Elohim did what?
Shouted for joy.
Shouted for, now wait, at this point, is the earth established? Earth is being made at this point. That means no people are here, nothing is here yet. Now, we see the creator creating, doing his work, and there's an audience there. And the audience is like, oh, bravo, great job. That's the council that is observing the creator doing his handiwork, right? This is how it's showing he's awesome. Now, the reason why this is important is because I'm trying to show you or give you guys an example of what's going on when I say monotheism was a foreign concept. And you guys are going to see where this concept of monotheism comes from, right? I'm going to touch on that a little bit. So you just read that he did what? He was laying the foundation, and that there was an audience there, right?
Yep.
Okay. You can read the rest of that question there. Read the rest of the question. And I have like 30 more proof texts, but I don't really have a lot of time to get into it now. But that's why when we see the Most High says later on in Telehim 82, I say that ye are Elohim. He says, I say that you are Elohim and that you judge. You're Elohim and you judge. We have been delegated, a form of power that the Creator has in the midst of Shamayim or the heavens. We've been designated that. But if you don't understand the council concept, you don't understand anything in regards to what he has designated Israel to do. Israel is one entity that the Most High has chosen to judge the rest of the nations. See, if you don't understand what the Creator does in heaven, you don't know what's going down here on earth. If you don't know what's going on Shamayim, you don't know what's going on X. It's very important. So go ahead, read the rest of that.
What if I told you there's nothing strange about a heavenly council with which El presides?
Okay, which we were just discussing. Now, interesting, we have in the Book of Kings, we have a situation where the Most High is calling out, who is going to be the lying spirit in the mouth of the prophets? Who is going to be? So now, he didn't just grab somebody and throw you out there. He asked the question. He said, who would be? Matter of fact, give me Job chapter 2, verse 1. He said, who? Somebody had to volunteer. Now, if there was no council there, right, then somebody just throwing people out there like, oh, I'm gonna throw you down to earth. Go ahead, handle that. No, there had to be a council where somebody's presiding over somebody. Matter of fact, court. Let's deal with court, man. Deal with court. When you have a jury in court, and I know I went to jury duty several times. When you have a jury in court, do they assign somebody over the jury that presides over the jury? When the verdict is given, that they actually give it to?
You got the floor person.
Now, what do they call?
Floor person.
Floor person is also responsible for actually driving the decision, correct?
Right.
Okay. Now, that floor person would be El, and the council would be Elohim. The floor person is the one initiating and the one that gives the final verdict. But they have to consult with the other jury members before the verdict goes about. Correct?
That's right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And I'm just giving you, this is just simple. We're not really going to get too deep in it. But what I'm saying is, I'm just trying to give you guys an idea. And then now, you're going to see where I'm going at in regards to this. So go ahead, read that. Chapter 2, verse 1.
Okay. Again, there was a day when the sons of God.
Wait, there was a day when Ben Elohim, when the sons of God, did what?
Came to present.
Wait, hold on. We got to get the Hebrew for that. Yeah, you can go to Biblos. So I'm going to show you guys what's going on. Came to present, go ahead.
Themselves before
Yahuwah. This is now, is that Lord, all uppercase, lowercase?
All uppercase.
Uppercase, so that means that's the Creator's name, YHWH, if I'm not mistaken. Because if it's lowercase, it'd be Adonai, right? So present themselves before who?
The Lord.
Okay, keep going.
And Satan came.
Wait, and the adversary came. Shaitan means adversary, and my study group section for my members out there, you know, my students out there, you know exactly what we're getting at with that. So who came?
Satan came.
Somebody came, go ahead, and what?
Also among them. To present himself. Wait, hold on. So the Ben Elohim presented themselves, now Shaitan is presenting himself. Now, again, let's go back to legal terms. Presentation. Somebody's being presented before somebody else. In regards to, let's give me a scenario. I don't know if you can do an example, but I'm trying to think. When somebody has to be presented before a group or a congregation of individuals in regards to court proceedings.
Oh, grand jury.
There you go.
Grand jury.
Break it down.
Basically, in a grand jury proceeding, and it's actually real slanted anyway. If the state is going forward before you attach probable cause, they can have they can either go have a preliminary hearing where basically it's a hearing to see if it's enough probable cause to go for your case, or they can backdoor that and have a grand jury. Grand jury, basically, the prosecutor and the cop, they go in front of a group of citizens.
Listen now. Now, again, what's happening on earth is just representing what's going on in the heavenly kingdom. Keep going.
And the prosecutor is presenting the evidence they have to the citizens, and the cop is the witness.
There you go. Now, we're just giving you an example or an archetype so that way you guys can follow where we're going. Go back and do your research on that. So, where was you at? Did I have you pick something out?
You talking about still with two?
Yeah, the present. All right, we're gonna see what that word present means,
Man,
because that's very important.
Is acting crazy.
Is acting crazy?
Yeah,
all right. Who wants to grab that? I could grab that too. So what we're saying is presenting yourself in front of a council where you have a judge that's presiding over that council. Then you have individuals that come in that court and they present themselves. This is very, very important, because again, if monotheism was pre-exilic, we would not have these proof texts. And we know by looking at the language of Job, seen in this prose form, its antiquated Hebraic idioms, etc., we know that it was written or authored earlier than almost all the other books of the rest of the Tanakh. And this is very, very important to understand as well. Again, that is a theory, but that theory is based on a lot of weight examining the language of the text, right? So, got it?
That's what I'll read.
Present.
What does it mean?
Okay. To set
To set
or station
or
oneself.
station oneself.
Take one stand.
Take one's what?
Stand.
What?
Stand.
Hold on. Court. Go back to court.
up?
When you're taking a stand, what does that mean?
Basically, you getting on the stand and you allowing yourself to be cross-examined.
Are you by yourself?
Yes.
But no, are you by
Oh.
yourself? Meaning there's nobody else there. When do you go on the stand by yourself?
Oh no, it's
There's other people there.
Yeah.
And you're presenting the case to the audience, to the jury, and to the prosecutor and defendant, right?
To the judge, well, to the jury.
The
but
jury.
The judge actually is listening.
Is
to
listening. The judge is listening. Go ahead.
The prosecutor and your
Prosecutor.
and your defense counsel.
Give me Zechariah chapter 3.
But you're on that stand all by yourself, though.
Right? You understand by yourself.
Officers out there,
Uh-oh.
when you mess up, when you get on that stand, you got to see me
There you go.
by yourself.
Zechariah chapter 3. So you're gonna see exactly where I'm going at with that. Then because this has to do with the council. Second question, right? So monotheism, henotheism, polytheism, and we're not saying because there are other deities there that these deities are to be worshipped with the Creator. What we're saying is we're acknowledging these other deities there, because what happens is you have a lot of people that bang on Christians, right? And then when you transition to be an Israelite, y'all don't acknowledge any other deities out there, right? You only deal with the Most High. And you don't realize anything about spiritual warfare and about possession. All the stuff goes out the window, and we miss the mark in regards to that because we're not acknowledging that there are other deities as well. Look up egregore. I want you to look up what an egregore is. Egregore is a thought form. It's something that can take on a life for itself. And I like to attribute this to individuals or nations of people, groups of people. We're going to get Deuteronomy 38, 32 and 8 too. Egregore? E-G-R-E-G-O-R-E. Egregore. Look that up. That is a collective thought form that takes on a life of itself when people start to worship or when people give energy or credence to that particular idea. It takes on a life of itself, right? So,
Zechariah 3.
Zechariah 3. 3:1.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he showed me Joshua
Slow down.
standing before
Standing before. We got the word standing again. Standing before what?
the angel.
The angel. All right, you go back to the Bible Hub real quick. We're gonna run through this, and we gotta go into monotheism. Monotheism is very important because even though there's an acknowledgement of other deities, there's only one that's singled out for worship, and He is supreme. Okay. This is why the Amorites got destroyed. I put all of this in my lecture, the patriarchal priesthood in the Bible, etc. Y'all gonna go back and take a look at that. So Zechariah chapter 3, verse 1. All right, so we're gonna finish this up because we're about to leave, family, but I want to touch on point 3. Point 3 was what?
What if I told you?
What if I told you
that
Yahuwah
was the avatar
used
by
El
to specifically
redeem Israel. All right, Deuteronomy 32 and 8. And just so you guys know definition, can you please read what avatar is?
Avatar. It means descent and refers to the appearance or incarnation of a deity on earth.
On earth. Say that one more time.
An avatar.
Avatar is
It means
what?
descent.
Descent
Refers to the
appearance
or incarnation
of
a deity
on
earth.
On earth. So now you have a power or essence that manifests itself to its creation, and in this case, sometimes here on the earth. Now, we have a chapter in Bereshit, I believe it's 18 if I'm not mistaken, where we have quote-unquote YHWH is appearing to Abraham. We have that, right? Can somebody get that?
I had Deuteronomy 32 and 8, right?
Yeah, you can hold that. You can get that. And that's the appearance. They're appearing on earth. That's what you just read, right? Avatar. That's what I said, Avatar, right? Okay. Keep 32 and 8. I want you get Genesis real quick. Matter of fact, read 32 and 8 first.
All right. This is Genesis 18.
Yeah, Genesis chapter 18.
I believe it's 18, yep.
Yeah.
Deuteronomy 32 and 8.
What does it say?
When the Most High gave the nations their inheritance.
Slow down. When the Most High gave the nations their inheritance, go ahead.
When he separated the sons of Adam.
When he separated the sons of Adam,
he set boundaries of the people.
he set boundaries of the people
according to the number of the children of Israel.
according to the number of the children of Israel. Now, the children of Israel, you get that from the Masoretic text. If you look in the Septuagint, it's Theos and Helion, or the angels of God, or Theos, which just means a heavenly council. And then if you look in the DSS, which is the Dead Sea Scrolls, it's the children of El, or Bene El, the sons of El. Now, why is this important? The thing is the next verse. Read the next part of that verse is what?
For the portion of Yah.
For the portion of what?
Of Yah.
Slow down. So now L's dividing something, giving something out, but the portion of who?
Yah.
Now, if you read it within Hebraic prose, these are two separate entities. It seems that way. But now when we say the word avatar, it starts to make sense. Keep reading.
For the portions of Yah.
For the portions of Yah
is his people.
Is his people. Now, Josh, I don't know if you can read your verse, and then we're going to go back to the question. We're going to wrap this up. What was the verse that I gave you?
You told me Genesis 18.
I believe that's what it is, yes.
Let's start at 1?
Yeah.
Okay. And Yah appeared to...
Whoa, slow down. Say it one more time, my brother.
And Yah appeared...
And Yah appeared...
To him...
To him...
By the terebinth trees...
By, keep going.
Of Mamre.
Keep going.
While he was sitting in the tent... Door in the heat of the day.
Okay, keep going.
So he lifted his eyes.
He lifted his eyes. From Abraham, right? He lifted his eyes.
And looked.
And looked.
And saw 3 men.
And saw 3. Wait, saw one person.
Saw 3 men.
Saw 3. Hold on. So Yah appeared, and his people with him? But there's no counsel there, though. He wasn't by himself, though.
Right.
So Yah appeared. Keep going.
Standing opposite him.
Opposite him. Keep going.
And when he saw them... He ran from the tent door to meet them.
Keep going. We're going to see what he did. Keep going.
And bowed himself to the ground.
Whoa. And bowed himself to the ground. Keep going.
And said, Yah, if I have now found favor in your eyes.
Now, he identified. He notices. Go ahead.
Please do not pass your servant by. Please let a little water be brought.
A little water. Drinking? Okay, keep going.
And wash your feet.
And wash your feet. Keep going.
And rest yourselves.
And rest yourselves. Now, did he eat? See if he ate something. Did he eat something with him?
And let me bring a piece of bread. And refresh your heart.
And refresh your heart. What was their response?
And they. Oh, this.
Yeah, you can scroll down. Okay.
Okay, and they. And then go on. For this is why you have come to your servant.
Okay. Keep
and
going.
they said, do as you have said.
Do as you have said, which was the drink and the feet washing. Now this is Yah appearing to them. What does avatar mean again?
It's
not spooky. This is, it makes sense. This is why I choose my words carefully, right? What does avatar mean again? Yes, this explains that situation precisely. So we have El, who's presiding amongst the Elohim of the council, and what El's doing is that he is appearing as YHWH to redeem Israel and to use Israel as an instrument to be a light amongst the nations, to bring them back into full worship and into full harmony with the heavenly council where El is presiding over. So he has to use another means because his name, El, his title was corrupted by the Canaanites, hence why they had to be pushed out and he had to reestablish his Shem, his name in the land. This is very, very important. I'm gonna give you one more scripture to explain what I mean by that. So you read yours, right? So go to Exodus chapter 3. Exodus chapter 3, and read Avatar one more time so they can see what this means.
Avatar means descent.
Descent.
And refers to.
The
appearance.
The appearance.
Or incarnation.
Or incarnation.
Of a deity.
Of a deity.
On earth.
On earth. Now, Avatar means the descent. Now, when the creator is interfacing with his creation, there's a particular vehicle in which he uses to get from one destination to another, and for the creation to recognize and acknowledge who he is. Now let's go to Exodus chapter 3. We're gonna see something. This brings everything full circle. And again, this is just little snippets. I have a whole bunch of references and everything. You know how I get down. And I'm gonna bring this thing full circle, and we're gonna jump on the last question. So if you don't mind reading that.
And Moshe was shepherding the flock of Yethro, his father-in-law.
Okay, keep going.
The priest of Midian.
Keep going.
And he led the flock to the back of the wilderness.
Okay.
And came to Horeb, the mountain of Elohim.
Okay, keep going.
And the messenger of Yah.
The messenger of Yah
appeared to him.
Go ahead.
In a flame of fire.
Now listen to the language of the scripture. Keep going.
From the midst of a bush.
From the midst of the bush. Keep going.
And he looked and saw the bush.
He looked and saw the bush burning.
With fire.
But it wasn't consumed, right?
But the bush was not consumed.
Keep going.
And Moshe said, "Let me turn aside now. And see this great sight.
Now look, listen to this. Keep going.
Why the bush does not burn.
Keep going.
And Yah saw.
And what?
And Yah saw.
And Yah saw.
That he turned aside. To see. And Elohim.
Whoa, hold on. Yah saw. And what?
And Elohim.
And Elohim did what?
Called to him. From the midst of the bush.
You just said there was an angel of the Most High that was in the bush. But now you're saying that Elohim called from the bush when Yah saw it. All right, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave that there for you. I want you to go back and look into that. All right, we're gonna skip past that because that's another sermon itself. But again, El is the chief deity presiding over the council, and what he's doing is he is taking on or donning the format of YHWH so he can take Israel, place them back into the land to renew the covenant with their forefathers and to reestablish his name so they can be a light amongst the nations, right? But this is El himself presiding over a council, coming into or using a vehicle called YHWH or the avatar of him to interface with his creation. Now, read the last question, and we going home from here. The last question. Again, I'm just throwing little tidbits out there so you guys go back and research this, right?
Okay. What if I told you that the reason for the seamless integration of the first temple exile,
keep going,
Ancient Israelites, and this diaspora,
and the diaspora, okay, ahead,
in West Africa, was because their spiritual system was similar to that of those indigenous peoples there.
Now, the reason why our people, and we will call the reason why when we exile, now the exile I'm talking about now, I'm trying to be very careful how I say this, I don't want to give too much out. I'm referring specifically to the northern tribes. When the northern tribes was exiled, if you go today to a subclan of the Igbo people who claim their migration origins comes from Israel, they will tell you they come from Gad, right? The third son, which is Enri. They'll tell you that's where they come from. We'll also hear about Danites, Asherites, and those from Naphtali that are there in West Africa. Why is this important? Because these individuals never saw a second temple being built. So that means that any part of the worship system, the spiritual system, the codification, the political entity that was created for the Israelites during that time period, these individuals would not have known. So they would not have known about Second Temple worship. They would have not known about the various sects that came about during the Grecian captivity. They would have not have known about the Tanaic period where we had the Talmud and the Mishnah. They would have not known none of these things, right? And they would have been almost a time capsule. So if we want to see the full preservation of our people, we would look in West Africa to see what their ancient practices are, what their migrational origins, and what customs and traditions was passed on over the periods of time. The reason why I'm saying this is that it starts with the Heavenly Council. If you look at almost any West African civilization, any of the spiritual systems, there's always a Heavenly Council, and you always have a primary individual that's presiding over this Heavenly Council. We see the same thing even in Ancient Kemet. In Ancient Kemet, you have what's called the Ennead, and in Ennead, you have Ra, who's presiding over a council. Look into the book of the Heavenly Cow or the destruction of mankind. Go back into that myth, and you'll see a council was called where Ra or Ray was presiding over the council. Nun was the advisor, and the rest of his offspring were the ones who are part of this Heavenly Council. Again, this is showing how indigenous the Hebrew Israelite spiritual system was in regards to their closest relatives, which would be that of Africa. And this is what we want to get you guys to think about. We're talking about a system, a spiritual system that was preserved when we study the West African Hebrew Israelites and the indigenous traditional cultures that are there as well that are non-Israelites. We are all one family. And when we study the spiritual system, you'll see why the integration was seamless, because they didn't have all of this extra that was there that came about during the Second Temple period. I want you guys to go back and research and understand that. Now, the last point I want to make before I drive this home is that monotheism. I want you guys to go back and I want you guys to study the Second Temple period during the return under Cyrus. I want you guys to go and look up Darius and see what Darius, listen to what I'm saying. Cyrus was the progenitor, but Cyrus had a proto-form. But I want you to go see what's the ideology that Darius had that had to be appeased in order for the Israelites to go back and rebuild the temple. Because when we read the text, Cyrus and Darius both say that the Most High spoke to him. They said the Most High spoke to them. I want you guys to go look to see what we have Zoroastrianism. Go and look in Zoroastrianism, and when you look in Zoroastrianism, you'll see something that's very, very interesting in regards to monotheism and the appeal that had to be made to these particular overseers of the nations at the time, which would be the Persian kings, and how when an appeal is made to them in regards to ideology, that they get in the funding and the support to go back and reestablish the Jerusalem, the city, the temple walls, etc. Once you guys go back and research that, you'll understand why an appeal was made, and now why the Israelites used a political system called monotheism to reestablish themselves in the land and to also fortify the nation of Israel so they could be united once again, or an attempt was made to unite them once again. And the three major tribes that are responsible for returning back and reestablishing monotheism, setting up the temple and the walls, was which three tribes, y'all? Benjamin, Judah,
and some Levites.
And some Levites. We don't have the northern tribes there en masse, but we do have the remnant there who wanted to assist the rebuilding. But guess what? They were looked at as heathens to the southern tribes when they meant to rebuild. I want you guys to go back and research. This is very interesting stuff. So what I want to say to my brothers and sisters, RBG Hebrews, we're trying to tell you that we adopt the African culture, and our spiritual based system is the pre-exilic format of what we call the Hebrew Israelite system.